So I've just pulled Beautiful Rose, who also goes by Wandering Rose, '07, I believe, into the Live on Air channel. And it's a pleasure to have you on the show this evening. You are currently listening to MSP Waves Radio. I'm your host at Agrode, also known as Skanky J during the broadcast. And how are you doing this evening, Rose?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing great, in part because SBD is spiking, and I might be the only one that's still bullish on SBD. I think in the next week or two, I think it will double. And I think that's a beautiful thing for the community. And so all of us that are posting are about to get a nice present from Santa Claus, who this time around comes in the form of a bunch of Korean traders that like to pump coins.
Oh, that's kind of amazing.
So
I
we'll,
just took my accumulated Steam and purchased Steam Power so that I am finally up beyond 500.
wow, that's great, Rose.
It was pretty awesome. I think I got like I don't know how much. I had $12 or something of SPD, and so I was able to get it up so that now I actually have my own slider. I've been on some borrowed Steam from Underground for a long time, which gave me my slider after I lost my delegations. So it's been kind of cool, but I feel like accomplished.
Okay. Well, that's fantastic. Congratulations. Don't feel too bad. I basically got almost nowhere in 8 months of posting here. I just had to stick with it and keep going. And I was getting this was before linear rewards, so I was getting 1 cent votes, or I was giving 1 cent vote. I remember it being a huge deal when I could go up to 2 cents with a single vote. So it takes time. It takes time to build a following. It takes time to have enough friends in here to help move it along. And especially when you don't have any steam power, trying to get that steam power back is quite tricky. So kudos on getting to 500, and a nice job on that.
Yeah, I'm actually up above 600 now with that recent purchase this evening. So it is pretty cool, and I was finally up to 2 cents, so that was exciting. And I see my followers growing. I'm well over 1,000 now, as far as 1,000, almost 1,100 followers, and I'm meeting and connecting with so many other Steemians between MSP and Whale Shares and Steam USA, and the list goes on. There's just a bunch of different communities that I've touched base with and am meeting new people, and I'm having such a blast.
And my favorite community by far is the Minnow Support Project and the Peace, Abundance, and Liberty Network. But I got to say, if all you're doing is spending time just in here, then you're missing out on meeting some of the other communities. And meeting all of these communities is a great plan.
That's true. I mean, this is my home ground, and make time every day to spend time in the Minnow Support Group, and I'm enlisting people to join when I see them brand new posters. Like somebody, I was the privileged person to get the very first comment on somebody new, and I went to their profile last night and saw that they had nothing, no comments, no posts or anything, and they chose my poem to come along and make comments on, and I felt, wow, this is great. So I hurried up and I got the link for Minnow Support and dropped it in the comments and invited her, and I've been inviting a number of different people as the opportunity arises to come in. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, thank you for doing that. This place can only grow by lots and lots of people saying, hey, this is a good place for you to be, and we want you here, and it's nice to have you, and just being friendly, which I continue to think of you as one of the friendliest people in here. So I continue to say thank you. Um,
Thank you. I consider myself an MSP ambassador for sure, and I've actually reached out my minnow tentacles at work, and there's a young man who had applied for Steemit last week named Alex, who was a trainee in our one of our classes, and I did convince him that it would be something that he would like to do because he's a crypto person already. And I heard him talking in the lunchroom, and I said, "Oh, you need to let me talk to you." So I kind of laid it out there, what we have to offer, and what he can find here, and how much, even the rest of the STEAM community is going to benefit from the stuff that he's learning on his own. So I don't know if or when he was approved. I don't know the regular turnaround time for approvals, but I added him on Facebook so I can communicate with him. And I said, as soon as you are in, let me know, because I'm going to start hooking you up with Minnow Support and some friends here.
That's awesome. That's totally awesome. And it's the least surprising thing ever coming from you, right? You are making friends and finding new people. You're great. You're great at
Yeah,
doing that.
I've never talked to anybody at work other than as a sideline. What are you doing? Oh, I'm writing on this platform and blah blah blah. And are you a writer? I've said that and tried to kind of like drop a few hints here and there, but I've never actually tried to actively convert somebody from the outside and bring them in that's a live member. So that's kind of exciting. And he's got a couple of other crypto fans work right in the training class too. So I think they're going to come on board too.
I mean, that's good missionary work. If you get this guy to come on board, make sure you DM me because I will re-steam his introduction post. And if you make a post about bringing a small group of people on, I'll re-steam that too, and I'll even pitch it to some of the whales that I know and say,
You got it.
let's get this lady some rewards. Because that's how we grow. I mean, what we need is ambassadors and missionaries to go out into the world and say, "Have you heard about the gospel of Steam?" And go convince people that a platform that you can speak your mind and get paid for that is actually a good thing. And especially as we're all getting fat rewards from a well-priced SBD, it's going to make that easier and easier for folks to feel good about saying, you really ought to go do this.
Well, this is what I'm doing. I'm sitting in the lunchroom every day on my lunch break, and I'm checking my Steam, and I'm reading comments, and I'm responding as I can. And so now that he's in the lunchroom about the same time I'm in lunch, I'm showing him my phone, my wallet, and I've showed him day by day how it's been growing. It started like 600 or something as far as my account value last week, and before the end of the week, it was like 750 or something. I said, you need to get in here.
Yeah, I mean now's the time. You're still before the mega rush. I think there's about 3 more months before the mega rush starts happening, and that's when communities hit, and that's when SMTs hit. I just wrote an article about how you can do like an IVO, which I'm calling an initial vote offering, and I think there are ways that you can do financial transactions on the block that you can't do in other places. I think this place will be quite appealing, and especially when it's super duper easy by having SMTs here, I think this thing is really going to skyrocket. So um, so yeah, this is a good time. Get your friends in now because we're gonna look back and I think we're gonna say, $1.70 Steam, that just seems so cheap. And we're gonna look back and say, holy crap, SBDs were only $12 and you didn't buy them? What were you thinking? I mean, that's how I think this is gonna go.
Well, Steemit has definitely exceeded my expectation from day one when I first registered on the platform. I had no idea what to expect. I knew absolutely nothing about crypto. I'm still pretty much a crypto newbie, a dummy when it comes to the buying and selling and trading of it all. And I read as much as I can, and I'm trying to absorb and understand it. Um, but as far as the far-reaching effects in me as a person, what Steemit has done, the brilliant people that it has allowed me to rub shoulders with people who write books like DJ. And, I bought a book of his off of Amazon last week. I recommend it highly. Um, Ajax, I can't think of the last name of it, but it's a great book. And, I would have never met him. I would have never known about all the skills that these people have. And they sit in their corners of their houses and in coffee shops, wherever, and bring it out there for the world. The music is fantastic. It's like it is definitely a world within a world. And then dropping into Minnow Support and being fortunate enough to meet you and everybody. And I was there the night that we hit 2,000. It was so exciting. And now to see how much farther we've gone with over 5,000, and it just continues to become more and more. And even watching MSP radio waves grow and all these DJs jumping on board. It's just phenomenal what's going on here, and I love being in the grassroots effort of this platform.
Well, my next goal is to get some extra SP powered into Minnow curation through MSP. And then I think I got to go help pump the radio some more. Because one of the things that we can do is if we can go provide some extra voting power and some extra support to the DJs and maybe even figure out how to get some love to the audience, that's gonna do good stuff for us. And I'm pretty excited to see if we can help. I really think that the radio station and ultimately turning this into a broadcast station is one of the real futures for this place. And that's how we can teach peace, abundance, and liberty. That's how we can grow this place. That's how we can have a very active voice. And so that's one of my next stops is let's get some curation going so that people feel like we're not just a voting place, but really a curation team. And I don't know, should be fun.
I can't say anything less than that, because I know that the radio stations and actually becoming a part of this energy that we have when we get on the radio and we start talking about the things that we love, the things that we're doing, and then spreading it around steam and getting other people excited and getting them in. I know JR, when he first jumped on board and he started telling me about his skills as an 18-year blogger, and I snatched him up right away and I said, you need to get into the radio stations. You need to start talking about the stuff that you have, because the best way to get a large audience is to get out here and start talking about what you're doing and what you know and what you can do to help everybody.
Yeah, 100%. This it is hard for people to believe because they post and they have amazing content and it earns nothing. And that's because this place is as much or more about your relationships and your network than it is about just your posts, your content, or your creativity. If all you're doing is shouting in the ocean, it doesn't go far. But if you have a whole network and you have a network effect and you are collectively shouting, then it actually starts getting somewhere. So it's hard for people to understand, hey, I did this comment and nobody loved it, or I did this post and it didn't receive, I didn't get my Lambo yet. But that comes in time, and that comes with a network.
I'm seeing that myself, and it's exciting to watch yourself grow. I've never been a big one for the bots because, honestly, again, I'm just a dummy when it comes to that kind of stuff. I haven't really utilized Love Juice or any of the other ones because I don't know what I'm doing. One time I put some money down on one of these bots, put the wrong amount, too much, ended up mistyping in the name. So I just kind of threw my money away. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do with what's safe. So I tend to walk on the safe side of Steam Life. And so I don't get involved in that a whole lot. But my growth has been pretty much organic because of it. And so it's exciting knowing that the efforts that I've put in, the elbow grease, the writing is actually making a difference. And my poetry has gotten notice, and the new attempts at fiction have taken some notice. And it's fun. I'm having so much fun developing me. And that's what I want, the message that I'm hoping to convey with the people who come on board, because I'm saying, hey, you can do this. You can do this. If I can do this, you can do this.
Yeah, 100%. Well, Rose, you're a phenomenal ambassador for this program, for this platform, and for the Minnow Support Project and the Peace, Abundance, and Liberty Network. You are a phenomenal choice for MAM winner, the Make a Minnow. I am stoked that you received that, and just thank you for being part of this community because you're such a lovely addition to it.
Thank you very much for having me. I love you.
All right, you're fantastic. All right, that was Wandering Rose. Actually, before I take you off, it's Wandering Rose 7, correct? Or Wandering?
Yes, it's Wandering Rose 7.
Yeah. So you're just as kind as can be, and it's great to have you on air. I'm gonna bring you back to the radio room, but for the record, you were listening to MSP Waves Radio. That was Wandering Rose, WANDRNROSE 7. Wandering Rose 7. And maybe somebody will be kind enough to link to her Steam profile or her Steam profile in chat here. Okay, so next up, what we got is Saipan Damashi. So, Saipan, you are on the Minnow Mayor Town Hall. How are you doing this evening? No, you're not coming in. Try again. Hello.
Hello?
There we
hear
go.
me?
Now I can. How are things?
Pretty good. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I was listening to a little bit of your vocals. You had asked me to vote on a post, and it was you were singing in Tagalog. Is that how I say that?
Tagalog, yeah.
Tagalog. So it was fun. It was fun to hear you singing. How many languages do you speak?
Fluently, I speak 3. I'm currently learning a 4th one.
So what are the languages?
My first language is English, and then my second language is Tagalog, and my third is Japanese.
And what are you learning?
And I'm currently learning Dutch.
Dutch. What a random addition. What made you choose Dutch?
Well, my best friend and I are like completely, absolutely dead set on going to the Netherlands next year for this huge hardstyle festival called DEFCON 1. And so we kind of just want to like I know that Dutch people all speak English, but we just thought it would be a cool like additional layer to our experience if we were to know how to speak Dutch.
No, hard style meaning like a house style, like bum 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 kind of trance.
That's the one.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. Are you a Strong Bad fan?
Oh, what? Strong Bad?
Bad.
No, not really. I haven't really
internet
heard too
cartoon,
much.
But I'm just thinking the system is down. The system is down. Doodle-doo, doodle-doo, doodle-doo. Somebody's gonna know what I'm talking about. But
That's like from the late 90s, early 2000s, I think, right? Isn't that like it was a website?
Yeah,
it was like a
I mean,
character.
it still is a website. Strong Bad.
Yeah.
Check it
Oh,
the
the
email.
emails, right?
Check it the email. Gotta check it the email. And the
Yes,
cheat.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So that his little beat or like techno that he's doing while like flicking on and off the lights and the cheats holding up some neon glow sticks, like that thing was that's what I think of. I mean, I was a raver. I did a whole bunch of raving when I was living out close to LA, and I'd go out to some of the warehouses that were throwing raves. So I can't fault you at all for what you're doing. But my rave days are over by about 8 years, which is roughly how long I've had kids.
I see.
So what brings you on the air tonight? What do you want to talk about?
So tonight, actually, today is like a really monumental, like historic day for me on Steemit, because as of today, I am no longer the only person from Saipan on the Steem blockchain.
Okay. With who were you the only one from Saipan? And for the people in the audience that don't know, where is Saipan?
Saipan is this tiny island in Micronesia. It's right by Guam.
And who did you? Is this a personal connection of somebody that you brought on board?
Yes, it is. It's one of my friends from high school. She lives in Massachusetts now, but she finally got her account created, and she posted her like introduction post, and it's already making like over $10. And so I'm like super happy because this is the third time that I've brought someone on to Steemit, and their very first post has like, quote unquote blown up.
Well, I think we can do better. So go DM me, and I'll go toss a full vote for Minnow support on it. And I guess I'll even toss a resteam to go help out a new member here.
Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate that.
Yep. And if you make a post about some of the people that you've brought on board, I'm happy to resteam that too, because there's not enough mechanism to reward people for bringing in folks. I'd like to turn all steemians into an army of Steam missionaries. And the best I can do is take the Minnow support account and use that to go help bring on new people. And hopefully they'll be like, hey, what's this Minnow support thing? I just got a $8 vote from them. And that turns out to reward 2 SBDs. And that alone is worth like $24 right now. So just for saying hi, we can give you a $24 in US dollars. So that's pretty good.
Oh, she just popped into the chat too in the audience.
Hey,
she's trying to figure out how to listen.
That's Hey, it's Jew.
Yeah, it's her.
All right. Well, excellent. I'm glad that she's here. It's wonderful. Let's see if she's. I wanna give her a shout out. So I'm gonna wait just half a second, and hopefully we can see her pop in there. And yeah, there's Hey, it's Jew. Hey, it's Jew. I just want to give you a personal welcome. This is Aggroed. I'm the founder of the Peace, Abundance, and Liberty platform. Some of the other founders are in here. And I just wanted to let you know it's a pleasure to have you be a part of this community. And thank you for joining, and thank you for listening to the radio show. And I'm looking forward to re-steaming her post and giving that a $24 or 24 US dollar vote.
That's awesome. I'm really glad that like you started the show off talking about like bringing people on and spreading the gospel of Steam and stuff, because that's literally what I've been doing since for the past few weeks or whatever. I believe too strongly in this place, like not just Steam it itself, but in the Minnow support project and the PAL Discord specifically, to not spread the word and to not bring every single person that I bring to Steam it into PAL and MSP, because this is like, there's no other place I can think of where people can launch and get like the best possible start that they can get on the platform.
Well, that is one of the main intentions of this place. So it's wonderful to hear you say that, and wonderful to hear that it's working, because that was my idea when I founded this place. And there's a whole bunch of moderators that you can see in the top right here that help make that happen, and some greeters, of which you're one of. And we try to make this place an incubator for ideas and for people and for groups. And, it's possible people are going to outgrow us, and that's part of the plan. But we are certainly doing our best to help folks land on Steam and then immediately start being successful with a crowd around them.
It's been working so far with all the people that I've brought on, so I'm really happy. And again, I know I thank you like every time I come on, but thank you so much for creating this place and for having this vision for how to help people succeed on Steam.
Well, I stand on the shoulders of giants. There's a lot of people that came before me that had good ideas. I ripped off a fair amount of the vision from some of the academic programs that I've been fortunate enough to attend. And there's a lot of people in here that make this place amazing. And, I founded it, and there are parts that I help with, but I no longer do the majority of the work in here. There's whole bunches of teams, and I help manage these teams and put some stuff together. But it's the moderators and the whole team of witnesses that I really think, and the greeters, of which you're one of, that help make this place amazing. So we're gonna send that love to lots and lots of people.
Oh, absolutely. Like everybody, honestly, that's involved here deserves all the love and appreciation.
All right, so you gave me this post, and before I forget, I'm popping this into Minnow support. I'm tossing this thing a big upvote. So that was at $10.66. Now this baby is at, it's still spinning, but that should work in just a second here. And then I guess I will re-steam this if this thing wants to cooperate. So that's happening. Kubi wants to go last. She told me to tell you that. Okay, so all right. So I think that's pretty good. I gotta refresh this maybe. What the hell just happened to my vote? Let's try.
Oh, and then I also gotta say I remember like a few weeks ago you officially invited me to come up with like a radio show idea or whatever.
Oh.
And I've been waiting to get a new computer because my laptop just couldn't handle, doing a radio show. And so I finally got a new computer, and I'm about to go get a microphone so I can actually make this vision a reality soon, hopefully.
Nice. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, come join us on air. You want to get your voice out, you want a community, this is a great way to do it. And if other people want radio shows, not just Saipan Damashi here, but if you guys want a radio show, we're looking for more DJs, so hopefully other folks will come on as well. All right, so Rodeo, I'm going to go pull you down. You are listening to MSP Waves Radio. I'm your host, Agrode, and currently known as Skanky J while on air. And that was Saipan Damashi, also known as Rodeo 670, and talking about his friends coming on board and how much he likes the Peace, Abundance, and Liberty Network and the Steam platform, and it was awesome to have him on board. So next up, I'm going to go pull Lima Bean. So Lima, I'm giving you your 3 seconds of warning that you're going to come on air. So Lima, you are currently muted, but you are on air. Can you give me a quick hello? Is your mic working?
Sorry, I am so things are not going well right now. I lost my headphones, and I found these headphones that one half of them is broken, and if I move, it suddenly cuts out.
All right.
So I don't know. As usual, I'm a mess. But if you want me to play something, I chose a song that I know that you like instead of choosing a song that I like.
Oh my goodness!
I actually love.
Yeah, you cut out, but there are only 10 songs in the world that I play over and over again, so it shouldn't be that hard to find one that I like. You there, Lima? Lima, voice no worky. Oh, you're killing me. All right.
Son of a bitch.
No, you're back. You're back. Here
I don't know if this is gonna work out because it keeps cutting out.
All right. Well, you can at least play an intro to a song or something. Let's go while it's working.
Okay. Am I still here?
You're here.
All right. You may recognize this tune. B minor's hard. "25 years and my life is still trying to get that great big love for destiny."
Oh no, Lima, we lost you. All right, Lima. Well, that's unfortunate. I like hearing Lima sing. She's a very talented musician, and I like her voice quite a bit. But I got to do this. I got to pull you off, Lima. I don't know if you can hear me because your mic isn't working, and your mic isn't working. Your headset isn't working. These are. It's time to meet the Muppets. This is one of these moments that I feel like it's the Muppet Show. Yeah, look. And to all the haters in the audience, that I there are at least 10 songs that I play, and all of you are bastards. But I love you. All right, Lima, I'm gonna bring you back down to MSP listening room, and I'm sorry. I enjoyed the song. What's not to like about it, except that it wasn't connecting. Okay, so next up, Cubby wanted to go last, so let's go bring Clay up on here. Now, ladies, we have a certain gentleman by the name of Clayboyne, and he's got quite the deep voice. So if you are at all susceptible to a man with a deep, sexy voice, then you just might want to cover your lady bits and protect them from the deep sounds of Clayboyne. Clay, are you there?
Yes, my mic works and my headset works.
Oh, excellent. You know, sometimes that is the bare minimum to come on the air. But I don't know. Hopefully I'll hear that song because I rather liked it. But how are you doing tonight, Clay? What's up?
Oh, pretty good. I think I got volunteered as tribute for Cubby.
Volunteered as tribute for Cubby? I don't even know how to interpret that statement. Like, is she going to sacrifice you or something? Or she owns you now?
She was trying to buy time for something I really don't know. But,
Okay.
Needless to say, I got volunteer distribute, so I'm here.
All right. So let's see. So one of the things that we talked about on the Steam panel discussion was SBDs, and I'm interested in what you think about the high price of SBD. Do you think that it should be Steam that's going up? Do you think that we should convert back and forth? Do you think that having high SBDs is a good thing or a bad thing, an unsustainable thing? What's your current take?
Personally, I love it.
Yeah, I think it's phenomenal. I'm glad to hear you say that, because you and I don't always agree on this kind of stuff, but if we have alignment on it, then there's probably some excellent pieces to what's going on in the economy right now. Well,
to me, it's doing a couple of things. One that I like is it's making a lot of vote selling basically unprofitable if they're only accepting SBD. But other than that, I mean, it's also the internal market is getting just wrecked. What I've been doing is just buying Steam on the internal market for 8 to 1. Yeah,
that's pretty sweet. Man, I mean to keep looking at this during my show, but it's hard to go do. Let's I watched it dip down to 465 or something, and I was like shitting my pants because, one, I've been saying this thing's going to go up, and two, I've been holding the coin, and it would be heartbreaking to me if I was wrong about this. But I'm still pretty bullish on this. I think part of this is that I started listening to Heijin, who is a trader that's making a lot of people some money. And one of the things he talks about is there's some natural phenomenons, and what we're sort of seeing is that the price is spiking, it's hitting the resistance level, and it tanked. And then the price spiked, it hit that resistance level, and it tanked less. And then it went back up, it hit that resistance level, and it went down less. And at some point, the amount that it's going down after it hits that resistance level, it's just going to skyrocket up above that. So that's
right. Like the way I think about whenever those resistance bubbles, to put it in not trader speak, I guess, if you're boiling water in a pot, you know how the lid will kind of pop up and down on it.
Yep.
Basically, the first time it's not going to make that much noise. The second time it might make a little bit more noise, but if it keeps building up pressure, eventually it's going to rattle just constantly. That's when you know it's going. So if it keeps bouncing like that with less and less to the tank side, then it's definitely going to go boom.
Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. I think in a week or two we're going to have $20 SBDs. And my brain tells me this is the beginning. This is this is some traders that have figured out, hey, we could do all of this with Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is going to cost me $40 or $50 on every transaction if I want this shit to be free, and I want to know in 3 seconds. Then this is a good way to do it.
I did just think about something I should probably spotlight since I kind of started ramping it up this week.
Hit me.
So, I like to do collaborations, right?
Okay, yeah.
I would like to see more of our members start doing collaborations. And I think I've got to give credit to Krim for the tag, but equal work for equal cake.
Who doesn't like equal work for equal cake? So what's the collaboration that you'd like to see? Why should people do it?
Well, I mean, one, it just gets you out of your own little creative zone and makes you kind of do things that you normally wouldn't. And then you get to kind of have some of the influences from both sides, or if there's more than 2 people collaborating, it works out. You get new and different. And that's pretty much what life's about, right? Collaboration.
So who do you think should be collaborating? What should they be collaborating on? Is this What does it look like? Are you talking about creative works? Are you talking about projects? Are you talking about everything? What do you think it is?
I mean, I think it's just you can. I think it's got a lot of crossover. You know, like people that like to sing could be working with some of these musicians. I mean, a lot of the stuff I read is pretty lyrical, so I mean that could cross over too. I mean, just like people that like to paint. Like even me and Julia did one where she painted a picture that went with one of my things I wrote, and that was actually at Steam Fest, so it was pretty cool.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, so one of my thoughts is that like when we do business with one another, that's one of the ways that we are going to get. When you do business with one another, that's the way that we grow our relationships the most. It creates a really strong tie between two people, and I think that's a great way to sort of grow your network. So yeah, 100% behind that, and hoping that people join in, and I'll write the song and you play it. I'll write the words and you draw something, or work together on a short business plan, or find something that you guys can do together. I totally agree with you.
Yep, it just seems to always be able to make something new and interesting.
Cool. Okay, well, I'm feeling pretty good about this. So, any last thoughts for me, Clay?
Do you think I bought Cubby enough time? Or?
Well, I think we have Intuitive Jacob that I could pull on next, and he's got one hell of a story. So,
okay. So
I think
hopefully we'll be good to go then, right?
Yeah, I think Cubby will be all right. That's the sense. And then it looks like Sunravel Me will go on air. So that sounds amazing too.
Cool. Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you here. You were listening to Clayboyne, who's one of the moderators that's part of the Minnow Support Project within the Peace, Abundance, and Liberty Network. He's one of our newest additions, but he is an awesome and talented young man, a creative poet, sometimes a naughty poet, and a philosopher at heart. And it was great to have him on the air. So thanks so much, Clayboyne.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, I'm pulling Clayboyne down, and then let's go get Intuitive Jacob on air. So, Intuitive, are you there?
Hello.
Yeah, it's great to have you here.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
So, I mentioned you have quite a incredible story, and I'm glad that you're here a little earlier than last time. I get a little loopy by 11 p.m. because my brain just stops working, really. So tell me, let's talk about some of your story. I'm assuming that's why you're coming on, or is there something else you'd like to mention?
Well, this is your show, Agra, or Skinky J, excuse me.
Either one.
Tonight, I kind of want to sing because there's all the time in the world for me to share on my blog and to co-collaborate, just like you were speaking about. This is actually one of the reasons that brought me to Steam It, was to be able to do that, because I have been working on sort of putting to words for myself so I can kind of comprehend what it is that I've been through. It's sort of like a digestion. And it's come out in a prose. It's mystical haiku.
You're cutting in and out just a little bit, so please make sure that you got that button held down tight, or your talk settings okay. But I have a question for you. Did you actually die at one point, or did you just sort of have a near-death experience through stage 4 cancer and recovery?
Well, both, actually, because the medicine failed and I was given infectious diseases and a 6.5-hour surgery that ended up going 10 hours that I woke up in under anesthesia. And it was horrific. And so I've been working on ways to tell this. And so that's actually part of why I came here. I don't want to cut off your questions here. I just feel like it's such a thing that I don't want to monopolize the entire show. I just really wanted to dovetail on what you were saying, because I feel that we all have such worthy life experiences that just by being that voice and being willing to be kind as we stand as witness for ourselves in that truth, sharing it. We're evolving I think, cosmic grid in the collective mind, and it's very inspiring for me. And I have actually, I've been here looking for ways to co-collaborate, and I wanted to just toss out, if I can, with Rocky Mountain Steam. I'm working with some amazing people, and we have a real community here, primarily in the Denver metro area, but not just there. We've got amazing people in Colorado Springs and even in Utah, and we've even kind of branched out to Saipan recently. As Saipan mentioned here, we've got a new friend that's joined our network by way of Saipan, and we are really focused on building a sound community here. And I have a meetup that I've got planned for the 16th that I just wanted to throw out there. And the whole theme is whilst under Mercury retrograde, how can we have the most amount of fun and introduce new people to Steam It? And so it's an introduce somebody, bring a buddy to Steam It party that we're having at the Punch Bowl Social next Saturday, actually. And so it's kid friendly and designed a whole game board. It's a bingo board. I'm preparing a post right now that's a follow up for the invite post that I'd put out that's going to give people clues about what they can do in advance to win the game board, because it's going to be like a 5 across bingo board where they can go on this sort of scavenger hunt and participate. In the winner is going to get some of my Bitcoin. I'm actually going to be giving away a Bitcoin package as a unit in a program that is paying daily on mining for somebody. I'm actually going to wallet. And I have actually designed the game to be a business accelerator so that, by people going and playing bingo and whoever, wins the game by wearing an ugly sweater and maybe introducing more people to the Steam It meetup group, or, winning at a game or playing karaoke or doing something well, this really awesome venue is going to give us different tasks so that we can create content based on our real life experiences together as we are building this Denver grassroots community and helping promote each other. And that's actually what I was going to bring to my radio show. Not just talking about Jacob's story, but how we can share these stories of each other.
Now, you just referred to yourself in third person there. Is there a story behind that?
It happens.
Okay.
Yeah, there might be.
Okay. Well, I'm interested in that. We don't have to do it tonight. We can go talk about the meetup. But you're a person of many, many interesting tidbits and stories. I mean, the PhD scientist in me gets weirded out and goes into woo-woo land for a lot of this. But a lot of the things, it's weird that, like, on the one hand, I use these powers of observation to think a lot of this stuff might be nonsense. And then at the same time, I use my powers of observation and say, here are what my senses are telling me. This is what I can see and experience. Maybe there's parts of my natural science background that haven't been told completely, or that might be missing some things, because here's some other things that I can experience. One of which was becoming a Reiki master and realizing that energy transfer is real and being able to sense that, feel that. And it wasn't until we got into dialogue about it where, I can feel this energy and I can feel things tingle and whatever. And that's not quite as empowering or crazy until the other person can respond back to me and say, this is what I felt you doing energetically, and it matches exactly what I was doing. And then how can you explain that? And then how could you explain that happening 10 to 20 times over? At some point, it is not a coincidence. At some point, this is a real energetic transfer, and I can use my same senses and experiments and rational science brain to try to pick apart just because I can't see radio waves doesn't mean that they don't exist. Just because I can't see, human energy going back and forth doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. And just because modern science tells me this shit is fake, I kind of don't believe all the things that, are coming from central authorities anymore. So happy to go look into that. And I just caught that little Jacob story. It is interesting that you would refer to that in the third person, almost as if some of these things have changed.
Well, yeah, a lot of things have changed, but I would have to go back to what I remember from when I shot through time, because I don't think I remember things the way a lot of people that grew up here do. And so I'm going to sound really weird if I try to go off on that right now, but some people that are a little bit more intuitive than I am that have tried to guide me previously, because I was pretty, I don't know, show me what's real, kind of guy before all this stuff happened to me. And I started having more reason, if you will, to be open to these things that I was told I was really evil for even thinking about or interest child, in the upbringing that I came through. And so, it's taken a lot for me to deconstruct enough with myself to looking at it this way. But, who am I to judge any of it? All I can tell you is that I've looked at my own chart coming back, and there's certainly some odd coinkydinks, if you will, that coincide over my birth chart when crazy things were happening to me or something was going. And, here's a little thing about what's going on right now, because, this whole show tonight, I've been on here listening. Their plumbing blew up. Lima Beings, shit certainly wasn't working. We're having a lot of tech stuff go on right now. And whether or not you believe in astrology, I have no opinion about that, really. But what I will say is that, and I talk about this in my the blog that I just posted about Mercury retrograde, because I was very much skeptical myself initially. Science does agree that this, what appears to be retrograde that's happening ahead, does create a magnetosphere. You can look it up. Look up what a magnetosphere is. And process there. I don't need to believe, but every time these things happen, it seems like there's an eruption of stuff that happens with people's technology and sometimes communications. And so it's just something to pay attention to. And for me, odd to consider things like, I listen to the weather report sometimes, and it's a good thing out here in Denver, because I was out in flip-flops earlier, but that doesn't mean anything. It could at any minute. It's just how it is here, and I would be to not pay attention to the conditions while living in a place like this and not being appropriately prepared for what the conditions might bring. And so what's so different about these other energies that are moving and surely there must be some sort of location graphic universe.
I couldn't hear all of that because you keep cutting in and out, but I'll tell you that is not surprising. And then the other part of this is that, like, I laughed my ass off at anybody that would talk about astrology for the longest time. And then just looking at patterns, I kept seeing Mercury retrograde really seems to be fucking with my life. From tech problems to emotional problems to conflict to all this shit. And now every time Mercury retrograde runs around, like, I don't think it's a self-fulfilling prophecy because I don't really know it's happening until it's happening. And then I'll look back and be like, well, that actually explains why this week in particular, shit's been running smooth for like weeks and nothing bad has happened. And now it's all kind of piling into this week.
Dude,
I think there's...
I had cops here until after 3 a.m. the morning. I don't know. I have had a very restless week. I've been living my life way and learning how to fund it on cryptocurrency. I'm technically disabled after losing my entire, having three.
Hold on. After losing your what? We got to fix your mic, or we got to get out of Mercury retrograde.
Yeah, let me get this. I got a headset over here.
No, it's all right. It's okay. For this time, I'm going to pull you off the air because we're at 9:00. I want to take a break. We'll see if there's not tons of people that are lining back up, then I would welcome you back on. I do want to give lots of people time to talk on the show, but you are absolutely a fascinating specimen of human being, and I look forward to having many more conversations, and I welcome you to join us later tonight if that works, or every Sunday for all eternity. That would be awesome.
Thank you. I'm going to restart my computer.
Yeah.
Back. If not, maybe I can share my post so people can get a heads up on it.
Yeah, go ahead. All right, you were just listening to Intuitive Jacob. He joined us from apparently the worst technical microphone connection ever, except for Lima Bean, but that's just Mercury in retrograde. And let me see if Just Try Me is in the radio listening room. He's not here. That's probably why I'm not getting yelled at for even mentioning that this might be a real thing. But to me, it's a real thing, and that's what we got. So that's the first hour of our show. I'm going to go take a quick music break. I'm going to go play any of the songs that I like, to hell with the rest of you, and it's going to be like that. I'm just kidding. Here's a song I haven't played yet, and anyways, you're listening to MSP Waves Radio, and I'm your host, Skanky J, and we'll be right back with another series of interviews.